Hiya guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be ranking every single Evil Dead movie. Now there's not loads, but we're going to be going through all 5 Evil Dead movies, not including the series. And we're going to give our honest opinions on each film. Jenks, what have you got for me?
Yeah, this is a pretty small tier, but we cannot have it. This is our favourite franchise. It's my favourite franchise anyway. I think it's the most consistent one of all. Is it your favourite?
I'm the biggest Evil Dead fan.
Yeah, I know that, but I know you love Jason as well. Jason's your...
No, Evil Dead all day.
Yeah, I think it's because it's the
not
most
even close.
consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, but even before, you had 3 seasons of a series, Evil
Yeah.
Dead 2013, Evil Dead Rise, when you just had the first 3. Best horror franchise ever, and it just keeps getting better.
Yes, I agree. Right, so we're starting from worst to best. There isn't any worst ones, I think.
No.
Nah. Okay, so the worst one, number 5 for me.
Don't say worst, just say in 5th, all right? Don't say worst.
Okay, in 5th, a lot of people are going to lynch me here. It's the original Evil Dead. It's my least favourite of the series. I think it's brilliant. It's groundbreaking, brilliant effects. It's the birth of Ash, but it's not as Ash as we know him now. And it's in last place. Number 5.
Disgusting, Jenks. Absolutely disgusting. In 5th place, I have Evil Dead from 1981.
Right. I
Look,
knew you could say that.
I love this movie, obviously. Yeah. Like I said to you, Jenks, we're not saying this is the worst Evil Dead movie, but it is my least favourite one, only because of how much I love the other ones and the remakes or the sequels, whatever you want to call them. Like you said, Jenks, it is a groundbreaking movie. I think this is one of the films that really shaped horror for years to come. And obviously spawned our favourite franchise, and it gave birth to Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Rob Tappert, some of the biggest names in horror and film alone.
Yep.
Massive respect for this movie. I love it a bit, but it is in 5th place for me, unfortunately.
Yes. Do you want us to kick off what number 4 is, Kurt? We'll take it in order.
Yes, again, in 4th place, I bloody love this movie. It's Evil Dead Rise. Now, this is hard to put in 4th place, the same as Evil Dead 1981, but Evil Dead Rise is in number 4. This is one of the best horror movies.
Yeah.
I think it's the best horror movie that came out in 2023 alongside Talk to Me.
Yep.
And it just goes to show there's plenty of juice left in this franchise. I love that they took it out of the cabin setting and put it in a high-rise tower.
Yeah.
Similar complaints to you, Jenks. I do wish they utilised the building more, but I love that they kept with the classic tropes. You're stuck in one location. I love that the flat door is like the cellar. She's trapped behind or trapped under. The stairs breaking down is like the bridge collapsing. I love that they kept all the tropes in there, but I do wish they utilised the apartment more.
Right. So
and Alyssa Sutherland is top class in that movie. Probably the best Deadite in the franchise.
So my number 4 spot is, you're gonna fucking kill me in this one.
I know what it is. I know
it's
what it is.
Army of Darkness. You would have killed me more if it was last.
Will we get demonetized if I flick you, like on camera? Like if I just give a quick flick? Will YouTube go like, nah, or make the video like R-rated 18s, you know?
Right, Army of Darkness, okay, is a great film. When I watched it in the cinema, when I was a kid, it blew me away. I gave it 10 out of 10 at the time. My dad and I watched it, and I loved it. I loved the humour. I loved the scene where he jumps up and the chainsaw clicks onto his hand. I love the wackiness of it at the time. But as the years have gone by, I've kind of fallen out of the wackiness of Evil Dead.
As the years have gone by, you've gone boring. That's what it is.
That's why I don't mind Evil Dead, the series, Ash versus Evil Dead. But I prefer, like, there's subtle there's subtle sort of humour in Evil Dead 2, and I prefer that. But Army of Darkness is a lot of fun. It's amazing what he managed to achieve with such a low budget. It feels like a Braveheart epic on a shoestring budget. I think the people who worked in it, they had to work above and beyond, but they loved it. They didn't mind. I think they thought, yeah, fuck it, we're doing an Evil Dead movie.
Didn't mind.
I just remember watching a documentary, and they were saying like, yeah, we got paid fuck all, but we were making zombies in it. Who gives a shit, you know? But yeah, it's my number 4 spot. But that's not to say it's shit.
Yeah, well, I can't judge too much. Both of us have just put the original classic in 5th place,
Yeah.
so let's chuck everything to the side. I'm not gonna shit on you too much, Jenks. But in 3rd place, I've got. Let me clear my throat for this one. Fede Alvarez's 2013 horror masterpiece, Evil Dead. Now, like I've said before in this podcast, when I seen the trailer for this one, I was disappointed that it wasn't going to be comedic because I had become accustomed to Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, and I wanted Evil Dead to continue with those comedy elements or slapstick elements.
Yeah.
And I saw the trailer and I thought, oh my God, I don't know if I can get behind this. What was I thinking? Because I watched this in cinema and it absolutely blew me away. It's got some of the best special effects you'll ever see, the best gore. What's her name? Mia. Jane Levy pulls off one of the greatest and most demented performance you'll ever see. An absolute standout in this movie. The whole cast are great. And Fede Alvarez gives us exactly what we want. Absolute carnage and gore. And that's exactly what this film is. Huge fan of this movie. I've seen it 4 times on release in cinema.
So, my number 3 spot... we're not number 3, are we?
3, yes. Yeah.
My number 3 spot, this has been a tough one because it's between, now I know what number 1 is, it's not a big spoiler, but now my number 3 and number 2 spot, I literally been battling all the way until this video. And I could even change my mind tomorrow, but I got to pick something and I'm going to go for Evil Dead Rise. Now, it's so tough because it really bugged me. It shouldn't be a big problem. It's not. It's not very important which one goes in order. But I was like, fucking hell, it's the worst day of my life. But Evil Dead Rise, we were lucky enough to see it together last year in an empty theatre. It was just like built for us. It was we paid for the big screen, like the 4K or whatever it is, 4X, I don't know what it's called. Huge screen. Both loved it. It has its flaws. I've seen it about 3 or 4 times now. I love this movie. Tonally, it's spot on. I love the fact that it's a close-knit family. It's relentless. It's not like, oh, we know who's going to survive. Like, no, you fucking don't. It is brutal. I stuck it on for my daughter the other day, and she's only 14. I said, be warned, man. It's not like, Conjuring. This is like really violent.
Really nasty, like.
I said it before, and I'm still slightly let down by the ending. I don't like it when they all morph into one big body pile. I always find that like less threatening than they were as individual deadites. But it is a recipe for some awesome gore, especially in the parking lot at the end. And like you said, what's the actress's name who plays the lead?
Alyssa Sutherland.
She is, you're right. She is my, after Henrietta, she's my second favourite deadite in the franchise. She is amazing. I love this film.
She's so good. There's a scene at the end just before they all morph together and they're all lying on the floor. They've got the classic white eyes and they're all shouting "Dead by Dawn."
Yeah.
That like sealed the deal for me. I was like, oh my God, like Evil Dead is still here and we're still going to continue to get great Evil Dead movies. Now, them all morphing to get together doesn't bug me one bit. I love monster movies and I love body horror. So that was right up my street. But I do agree with you that they obviously weren't as threatening as them all singularly. I'll give you that one.
With her, there's a line in it that's probably one of my favourite Evil Dead lines when she says, "Mommy's with the maggots now."
Mommy's with the maggots now.
It's so good. And the way she delivers it, and my favourite bit in it is when shit's hitting the fan in the flat. I think when the daughter's possessed and is going wild, and then it cuts to I forget the actor, not the actor. What's the character called? What's her name in it?
Beth,
right? No, the deadite. She's not Beth.
Oh, it's Beth and I can't remember now.
Anyway, the mother, possessed mother, when she's screaming and she sounds like a baboon when you could just see her face through the thing, as if she's very aware that the shit's hitting the fan inside. She's got like some sort of psychic...
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good, yeah.
Yeah, of course, because they're all connected, aren't they? Yeah, the bit that I always love, and I just love the image of this, is when she convinces Carol Ann. Is it Carol Ann?
No, Carol Ann's from Poltergeist.
Yeah, well, it's her name's similar to that anyway.
Yeah.
When she convinces her to open the door.
Yeah.
And she grabs her by the throat and lifts her off the floor, and then the image then of her face. Oh my God, what a film!
It's amazing. Yeah.
Right, in second place, I have got Army of Darkness. Don't worry, Jenks. Evil Dead 2 is safe. I have got Army of Darkness. As you know, Jenks, I am a huge fan of this movie. Now, when I was growing up, this was my Evil Dead movie. I had seen them all, but I rarely went back to 1 and 2 when I was very young now, very young.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness is the one that I always went to. This is the one I associate Ash with. I feel like Ash is there in Evil Dead 2, but the Ash I know and love, he became him in Army of Darkness. I love that it's silly, I love that it's slapstick, and I love that it's not as serious as the other ones. I just love this film. I've shown it to my daughter. I would never show Evil Dead 1 and 2. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm able to show it to my 9-year-old daughter because it's an Evil Dead movie. Whereas Evil Dead movies should be out of bounds for kids, but it's basically an adventure movie. It's hard to even call it a horror film. But I am there for this film for Ash alone. I love all the characters, the castle, all the sets, everything is just huge, like you said, Jenks. Yeah, easily my second favourite Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, I honestly, when I heard this was coming out, because when it was announced, there was no internet. It was like in the 90s, and I saw a picture in a magazine. I was like, is that Evil Dead 3? Oh my God! I couldn't fucking believe it. Yeah. Right, my number 2 spot, Evil Dead 2013. It is fucking brilliant. I saw this in cinema. I loved it. Unlike you, I preferred fucking brutal Evil Dead. I'm glad they didn't have like a remake with another Ash. I think they made the right choice of going into a more traditional route, having a final girl, although she's the final girl and the antagonist. Like, and it is so good. I can't believe this guy hadn't made a film up until this point. Like, it is a masterclass of gore, the makeup. So the Deadites in this are my favourite of all the Deadites, and I think this is more of a companion to like Rise. I think they kind of are more similar.
They feel like they're in the same world.
Yeah, and it's the oily, dirty skin. They look sweaty and they're dirty looking, and I think that's the best Deadites. I don't really like the Deadites they've got, the silly Deadites they got in like the series, where they look a little bit like the vampires in Dust Till Dawn, where they go too like silly looking. I much prefer just fucking rotting and just off, like the teeth and eyes are gone. But that I think I love it, but it's so bad. There's a scene in 2013 where she rams the chainsaw down the mouth of this Deadite. It is visually one of the greatest works of art.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't got it as a poster, because I there's an image of it. I think, fucking hell, that is a masterpiece. Like,
do you know there's a poster you can get online with that artwork with the Evil Dead title above it, and someone's drawn there?
Yeah. Well, I love it, and it's an amazing film, and it's, I would say, slightly underrated. It did make bank in the cinema, but I think it's got love over the years.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's awesome. Look, we're on the number 1 spot now. It's not a big surprise. I'm going to kick it off. And number 1 is Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
Shock horror. Obviously, you and I love Evil Dead 2. We grew up with it. Your dad is my uncle, and he kind of was part of the reason. Well, it wasn't just that, but got us into horror. And Evil Dead is the top tier of horror, and it's the perfect thing to watch as a kid because it's not too disturbing. Yeah, and it's a little bit silly, but not too silly, and it is awesome. And it's got the best Deadite ever, Henrietta. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. If someone said to me, "Quickfire, greatest horror movie ever made," or just name a horror movie, I'd go Evil Dead 2. Like, it's exactly what I associate with horror movies. It is it is my second favourite movie of all time. Like you said, Jenks, this is one we grew up on. This is one I associate Evil Dead with. And Bruce Campbell is fucking awesome in this film. The scene where he gets everything together and he becomes the Ash that we know and love, obviously where he delivers the line groovy, is just amazing. There's so many standout scenes in this movie. I love the characters. I love that it's a companion to the first movie. Regardless of what you say, Jenks, I think it's a sequel where you can cut it off.
Yeah.
Screw what you say about not being no dead bodies on the floor, right? He could have cleaned up, who knows?
There's carnage, there's no fucking mopping away.
There's one thing I will say is, as much as I love Army of Darkness, with how good and scary Evil Dead 2 is, alongside being funny, I do wish they had kept with the same momentum as the second one. But I do love Army of Darkness.
Yes, I think Sam Raimi had a massive passion for like the Three Stooges, and he just thought, fuck it, I'm making that Evil Dead / Three Stooges.
That's exactly what he done. Yeah.
And again, as a kid, I liked it. As an adult, I gravitate. I think the tone of, because when I love horrors when you're a kid and you don't even know it's a comedy. That's how subtle the horror is. Obviously, with Army Darkness, you said your kid watches it. There's no debate. It's proper slapstick.
Of course. But do you know what's really special about this one? It's the set. It's the woods. It's the cabin. Everything inside the cabin. It's just nightmare fuel. The sound of the wind in these Evil Dead movies is just next to none. I don't know how they pulled it off at such a young age.
And you're awesome because Tarantino, who's a big fan of Evil Dead 2, James Cameron's a big fan as well, because they got links with Bill Paxton with Sam Raimi. He always works with him, and he said that Tarantino said when he saw the camera work in Evil Dead 2, he said, "Oh, why didn't all films just be made like this? This is just the way you make films. Like, why would you not make a film exact?" And you imagine, like, I know Tarantino came after Sam Raimi, but he's arguably classed as the greatest director ever. And that's such a massive pat on the back, isn't it? Of saying, like,
it is.
You've nailed it.
Even though he's a young pup, it's still like it's Tarantino.
Yes.
But revolutionary. The camera work in this movie, the quick changes and the shots above the floorboards, and
it's incredible.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. That's our list. It wasn't a big one. It still took us like almost 20 minutes talking shit. If you like rankings, horror, anything to do with horror, please subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.